What's up? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Gotta protect myself, man.
From us. Chris has it too.
Does it really right now?
I think he said he did, yeah.
Holy shit, man. This really is the COVID edition.
It is.
Dude, even Little Fences has a mask on.
He's got it on too?
Yeah, I gotta take this fucking thing off.
Too hot.
What's up, brother?
How you been?
I'm good, man. How about yourself? I'm sorry to hear you're
I'm good now.
What's that?
I'm good now.
You good now?
Yeah. Took like 10 days though, but yeah.
Shit. So, you know, I mean, obviously you haven't been to work.
No, not in 10 days.
You must be going fucking bananas.
Yeah, it's weird. I've been in this little tiny room, like driving.
Yeah.
It's like 7 by 7 feet, maybe. I've been
Damn.
locked in here by everyone.
Damn. Yeah, you quarantined, man. So how was it your first time getting it?
Yeah. Have you had it yet or no?
Yeah, you know, it's weird. So back in February 2020, before it was a thing, like at least like, you know, a widespread thing like it is now, I had something that I never had before, and it lasted like 4 or 5 days, and it was just like sleeping on the couch. I was at work. I was in the middle of a haircut, and I felt super dizzy, and I thought maybe I was dehydrated or something. I don't know. I had to stop cutting the guy's hair. I was like, listen, I'm gonna fuck your hair up if I go any further. But I was like, let me get my shit together, and you know, I'll finish up, and I'm gonna lock this place up and get out of here. And so I did that, and I went home, man, and I just went on the couch for like 4 days.
No,
like just 4 days, man. And I would wake up, have something to eat, go back to bed. It tasted like nothing, and then I would go back to bed. And then like on the 5th or 6th day, I was like totally fine. But it wasn't a thing. It wasn't a thing. There was no COVID testing. There was none of that at that particular time. So I just brushed it off. I was like, well, that was fucking weird.
You couldn't taste the smell either?
No, I don't remember the smell, but I was, oh, here comes Chris. Coyote guts. Here he comes. Oh, yeah. There he is.
There he is.
Can you hear me?
Hi. Yes. Look at your beard.
Big, right?
Yeah, the beard's crazy. We were just talking about COVID.
You got a nice one too.
Yeah, I kind of feel left out.
I feel like Dave and I both look like we cry during Robin Williams movies.
Hey, what's your favorite Robin Williams movie? I know that's tough, but Chris.
Oh God. It's tough, but it's also easy. Dead Poet Society.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's a great one. I like
Popeye.
I like one that's really kind of off, but World's Greatest Dad.
Oh, World's Greatest Dad. That's what I was gonna say. That was amazing.
Masterpiece.
That was a good movie.
Yeah, right.
I like Bruce Hornsby in that movie.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, he plays a beautiful rendition of Mandolin Rain.
Yeah.
The funniest part about that whole movie is when Bruce is playing Mandolin Rain, there's like a very nervous boy holding the mic to his mouth.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought that was funny. I feel like when someone takes a mic to a singer's mouth, in lieu of a stand, it's outrageous.
Yeah. Bobcat Goldthwait is like the most underrated director.
Yeah,
ever,
he's made some really good movies.
Every movie he made was insane. Sleeping Dogs Lie, where the girl blows the dog.
Right. What's the one with the like where he just goes around killing people?
Yeah, God Bless America.
Yeah, that one's crazy.
Willow Creek. He took a stab at horror. He did like a found footage Bigfoot movie. I don't know if you saw that one.
Oh, I heard about that.
You made me watch that. It was fucked.
I made you watch it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was one of it was literally fucked at the end, right?
Yeah, that was like I feel like you gave me you told me that I had to watch like 3 movies and they were just like the weirdest movies I'd ever seen. not like weird, like I don't even know, not like in a stereotypical weird way, but just like so weird where I'm like, did they mean to make that movie? Like, like, did I just watch? Like, did I actually just watch that? Just like weird in a way where it crosses over and it makes you second guess yourself. Like, there's no stable footing that the movie sits on. So you're like, was that movie weird or am I just weird?
Right.
Yeah, those tend to be my favorite movies.
Was that the Bigfoot movie?
Weird. The Bigfoot one is pretty strange. Yeah.
Yeah.
It like crosses a line, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it seems like it's a bit like all that like Shakespearean shit or like shit from the Bible. Like there's an underlying thing to it. And it's like that movie wasn't about Bigfoot at all. But like, what was the movie about?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah, I gotta watch it.
What's he trying to say? Because he clearly used Bigfoot as a guise to some twisted, you know, moral. I don't even know. Like,
Sure. It could be like the Hollywood pedophile ring or something like that.
Exactly. I just think he's trying to say something else, and it's like, and that's the weird thing. You start to realize that like, there's really only like, what maybe, I'm sure someone actually knows this answer, but it feels like there's a handful of stories or sentiments or something, and there's really only like 3 of them, and they can be put in like all these different, you know, frameworks, like movies or books or whatever, but it's all like the same fucking thing, where it's like, you know, like someone good gets morally corrupted and becomes a villain, but you love them, like something like Breaking Bad or something. Like you see these like story arcs and you realize you're like, wow, there's like you know, like Natural Born Killers, where it's like this lustful murderous thing, and then there's your classic like love story, and then there's stories about there's like a few, and it's like it's kind of interesting to see the new ways that people are trying to say the same things. I think is kind of interesting.
Yeah. I mean, almost every movie or story is essentially, like you said, the same thing. It's just being told in a different way. And then sometimes, like Willow Creek, for example, they throw something in there that's just is completely off the narrative, the usual narrative. And you're like, what the fuck? What did I just see?
Yeah.
Those are the ones I like the most, I think, because they make you question, you know, yourself and why you like it, and you know, whatever.
Yeah, that's true. That's like a good that's kind of an interesting thing that like cinema can't do as well as books, because in books you obviously have to like build the environment or whatever, but like particularly in literature, like, you can like jump over the wall of self, and like you begin to question things and stuff like that, as opposed to just like being a observer.
Yeah.
So it's interesting when a movie can actually do that, and that's tough. But I think in order for a movie to do that, the number one like tactic that I think is like, you know, super worthwhile is when they make you uncomfortable.
Yes.
Because that's when we're like, oh, like, what the hell? Like, almost like, I mean, whatever. I don't care about this movie as much as everyone. I just don't like anything. But the Joker, like, I think that was like, it wasn't like watching, you know, Jack Nicholson like dancing to Prince and spray painting shit. Like, you know, that was my favorite Joker. But you were just like, you were after watching the Joker, you're like, should I like, you know, am I gay? Like, should I get a divorce? Like, should I kill myself? Should I kill someone else?
Yeah, it leaves you with a weird feeling.
And you don't even know like what it was. Like, what was the weird feeling?
Yeah, when it was over, I was just like, what just happened?
That was a wild movie. And you know what? For something to make it like mainstream like that, is pretty crazy, you know, because so it had a lot of money behind it. It had a big director behind it. It had a huge actor behind it. So it's going to be in movie theaters. But something like that is normally like an independent.
That was dark.
Kind of very dark, like huge social commentary in like a, you know, Batman movie. Essentially, I know it's not Batman, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But I like that. I think that's cool. I like things that challenge us, you know.
Right.
That's like my favorite kind of shit.
And it's like, it tends to be the only time I think that we're really challenged is when it is not an emotion you can put your finger on. Because if you watch something like Dead Poets Society, it's like, yeah, that makes you think, but it makes you think in such a stock, obvious way. You know, carpe diem, seize the day, blah, blah, blah. Like the authoritative fist always wins. You know, Neil Perry kills himself because he can't act. I mean, they guide you through that shit. But those other ones that make you feel weird, that's just crazy when you don't know what you felt. And that's like a funny kind of movie. People are like, how is that movie? And you're just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like No Country for Old Men, same thing.
Yeah. That's a great example.
Whoa.
Incredible.
You know, there's some movies that I've seen and I'm like, why did I like that? I shouldn't have liked it. You know? Did you ever see Funny Games? Either original. Okay. There's an original and a remake. Either one, they're both pretty much shot for shot the same. But that's one of those movies that you shouldn't like at all. But there's something about it that's kind of charismatic and charming in a weird way, even though these two kids are psychotic killers and they're killing these people for absolutely no reason.
And it's weird. And
I like
it. Like, yeah, and we do like it. But that goes into the thing is it's like we like it because they're handsome and they're polite. And it like gives like the murderous like I don't know, not sexy, but it's like it's like whether we want to admit it or not, it's like to, you know, someone to like, you know, be a fucking serial killer, but if they're goddamn beautiful, we're gonna view them completely different.
They're glorifying it on purpose. They're glorifying in a way to where you watch it and you're like I just said, you shouldn't like it, but you do. And that's a commentary all on its own on violence in movies in general, right? I don't know about you, but I like a good violent movie, you know? When I go see a movie, like an R-rated movie, and it's not really violent, I'm like, they should have made this PG. This movie sucks. Like, bring me the violence, man. I came for the violence. But I don't like violence in real life. So, you know, go figure.
True.
No, violence in real life is so gross. Like, I don't remember. I mean, have you ever seen someone like get like knocked out in front of you and like they fall and their head hits the pavement and it makes like a very it's not like the movies. It makes like this weird thud and you just sort of feel cold and empty inside and you're like, man, it's just so different. I mean, I think I saw a dead body today. Because
you have to report that.
Well, there was a law enforcement there, but it's like, you know, the person had gone to the bathroom in their pants and their mouth was wide open, and it's just fucking gnarly. I mean, I've seen a few dead bodies in my life, and it just makes you feel cold, like empty.
Yeah,
and I know exactly what you're saying. I know.
Was it like a murder, you think, or
the one from today?
Today, yeah.
No, I think it was just a victim of you know, the wealth gap, you know.
Yeah.
Someone down.
I went to Woodstock 99 and I saw like at least 10 dead people there being carted off. You know, they were, you know, taking way too many drugs out in the middle of nowhere in the sun, dehydrated. You couldn't buy water there. All the water was dirty, so you couldn't even drink it. And if you were lucky enough to even find a bottle of water, you'd want to drink it, but people weren't prepared for it. And people were dropping left and right, man. It was nuts.
Wow, you went to that? That shit was
I did, man. I left all my shit there. My tent, my bed, my, you know, sheets, pillows, clothes, backpack. Couldn't get to it. It was like, so it was this gigantic army base. And if you didn't know directions, like off the top of your head, there was no cell phones at the time. They had color coding for each section of the place. And when the riots happened, everyone knocked down the colors. So you had no fucking clue where you were. And as the fires started building up and people were crushing the gates down to get in, we were just like, let's fucking go before we actually get killed, you know?
Wow.
Before Limp Bizkit plays?
Yeah. It was around that time. It was like when they were playing, when it really started like taking off.
I feel like that was like, there's always these pinnacle moments of when culture is visibly fucking, you know, shitty. And I feel like that was one of them. Huge. I remember it's, I mean, like now I'm not sure what it would be. I mean, we're definitely in the bowels of a toilet now, culturally and musically. But I'm trying to think of a moment of like, ooh, like that. But that definitely was one of them, I remember, because it was like, you know, Woodstock conjures up, you know, the hippie and all that. And then it was like, this was like, you know, Fred Durst is like up there. And you're like, wow, you know, America, we've gone down the tubes. And I just remember thinking that when that happened. Granted, I was pretty damn young, but I remember going, wow, dude, you know, there's not one pair of flared pants with mushroom patches.
No,
you know.
No, man. It was all like cargo pants, you know?
Yeah. It's crazy. Do you think that there is a like a cultural moment as recently where it was so like visually evident of like the downfall? I wonder.
You mean in like the music industry or?
Sure, or anything, whatever.
It's like a culture gone wrong.
Like, the what?
Like culture gone wrong. Like you.
Yeah, because that was like such a loud one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was like kind of like when like the Big Bopper, Richie Valens, like the day the music died, like that plane crash, but not necessarily an accident or a loss of life, but like a curated, purposeful moment where we go, this is like popular culture.
Maybe the Fire Fest.
That's what I was gonna say next.
Yeah.
Close, but that was more the organizers, you know.
Right. Yeah, but it still showed it still was a pretty good representation of the kind of people that would even go to something like that in a fucking tent with, you know, $100 cheese sandwich. You know what I mean?
They all deserved it.
Right. It's because and you're right, man. It's because it is a representation because you know, they led a horse to water, and the water being, that's what people bought into. It's like fucking who was it? Ja Rule? Come on now.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like they have like everyone likes this fucking, there's like these like women with abs from countries you can't pronounce, and they're on weird yachts, and it's like all GoPro footage above, like buy into this lifestyle, like do that. And there's this like dudes like on their phone, like making money on their iPhone while it's happening. It's like they're buying into that weird thing, and I don't know what it is. It's like, I don't want to be on a boat. I don't want to be off a fucking weird island. Like, I don't want a bunch of like strange women around. Like, I don't know what the hell these people are trying to buy into. And it's like that, like Instagram, like glow, glory. It's like Instagram shit, dude. And frankly, you know, I don't want to be cruel and you know, hopefully, you know, no one's like, well, I went and I didn't deserve that. But I think if you see Ja Rule, that fucking strange investor guy, and some GoPro footage of like chicks on a boat, and you and you buy that, you deserve it, dude.
I agree. 100%.
Everyone who went there, they could have put him on a fucking conveyor belt into a meat grinder,
100%.
and I would have been fine.
Yeah.
You know what, dude? That might be a way to clean shit up. We'll just like we'll be like, yeah, dude, there's like you know, like those kids that wore their clothes backwards, that band, like there's a reunion, and there's gonna be like, you know, like free this, free that. It's on this island, and they never come back.
It'll be like Dateline, but like on a huge scale.
Yeah.
You know, lure them in, get the pedophile in. And, you know, but we can do it massively, you know, like, I mean, I don't want to use any crazy words, but you know what I'm saying? Like a Holocaust kind of thing. You know, but for shitty people.
You bring them in, you're like, everyone who comes here, you get a free NFT. Like, something like that. Yeah, dude, that's how you do it. But you know what would be nice is if, you know, where there's darkness, there's light. we create something to where we lure in all the good people. It's like everyone who comes here gets a book, and $20 goes to help children, you know, some music fund.
Absolutely, man.
And then fucking 10 people will show up.
That's all right. We'll restart with those 10 people, you know?
Yeah.
But that's the thing too. And I'll go back to what you were saying. Like when Woodstock 99 was going on, I wasn't sold anything. Like you just said, people seeing all that GoPro footage.
You see a lineup and you go.
It was my first overnight festival. It had the name Woodstock on it, and it had all these amazing bands on it. I was fucking what? I don't even know, 19 years old, 20 years old. And, you know, I was promised a good time and, you know, titties and shit, you know, like, but that's not what we got. What we got was a bunch of fucking assholes who destroyed the whole thing, you know, and it'll never happen again. And I'll personally never go to like a festival like that ever again. It's like, it killed it for me.
It seemed like those Coachella things are like, they've got it down.
It looks like they have that down, but it's also fucking insanely expensive. You know what I mean? Like, you know, a bottle of water is like $20. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, people with that kind of money are usually going to be all right all together.
Like incident free, you know?
Right, because there's only like one group of people.
Yeah, but also on the other hand too, a lot of those bands at Woodstock, they do, not that they provoke violence, but the energy of the music could. But like the festivals now, like I feel like every festival in the last 10 years has been headlined by Tame Impala and the Black Keys. So, I mean, what are you gonna do?
Or Kanye West.
Or you're like, oh, here's some like, you know, weird like guy who thinks that like God lives inside of like the tip of his cock, and then like these two like dudes who seem like they work at a record store just playing like blues. And Tame Impala is like, that's just like a bunch of like Australian surfers on LSD.
One guy, I think.
It's one guy. It's like psychedelic pop.
Yeah,
you know, it's
they're actually really good.
It is good, but it's also like it feels like it's all the same once you listen to it for a while.
Yeah,
like it's hard to differentiate the songs because they all kind of, you know, it's psychedelic, so it just kind of takes you on a trip, which is cool. But for me, it's like doesn't have enough variations.
Too much reverb. There's too much reverb.
Yeah, a lot of echoing and
I don't. I like they have a music video where there's like a gorilla playing basketball. I've seen a couple of their videos that were cool.
Yeah,
really cool. Like a guy like goes to go down on a woman, he like spreads her legs, but then like he like tumbles inside of her, and then he's like floating in some like colors. I like that. I mean, I want to like maybe like put on like John Coltrane and then just watch Tame Impala videos on
Yeah, I mean, and sometimes like a video enhances a song big time, you know what I mean? It could be like something you don't even like, but the video is really cool, so it gives you a different feel about the whole song.
Am I the only one with that band where it's like a band name just rolls off your tongue so often that the word sort of loses meaning? Almost like that's like trippy trick where if I were to say, I think that my aunt taught me this trick just to fuck with me, but if you say the word boot like over and over again, it starts to just sound like insane. It's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the word just makes sense. But when I think of Tame Impala, I don't think of like a domesticated impala, like an animal, like a tame impala. It's like Tame Impala. Same as Led Zeppelin. You don't think of like a Led Zeppelin. It's strange how a name.
That's true.
Like that band, you know, that band Fences. Like you don't think of Fences. You know?
That's very true. That's very true.
I mean, the Beatles. You never think of Beatles.
Never.
Yeah.
Never
right.
Like it's like the dumbest name ever.
But
this is the first time I actually thought of the Bug. Just now.
What's that?
Dave just made me think of the Bug for the first time ever.
Oh, just now.
Oh,
so weird.
I was just gonna say, I thought of the Monkees because you said the Beatles, and I'm actually thinking of Monkeys now.
Right.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow. Dude, everything's fucking ruined. What other one is? Yeah, there's so many. Yeah, I guess because what the fuck is a band? It's so weird. You're like, hey, like me and some other humans are gonna make noise and we have to call it something.
Right.
And you just like look around the room, you're like, oh, we're like the Cans. Or it's like, what the hell is wrong with us?
We're the Rolling Stones.
It's so strange. Or it's like, even when it's somebody's name, like Elliott Smith. Like, if there was no Elliott Smith, I'd be like, oh, what, the bank teller? Why are you talking about Elliott?
Right.
But it's like, you're like,
Coach
oh,
of the
there's a
Vikings?
guy named Elliott Smith.
Right. Especially with the last name Smith. It's like the most common name in the world, right?
Yeah.
But
Wow, dude.
when you put Elliot in front of it, it's an iconic, figure. That's interesting.
Well, there's the Smiths, man. That's
That too.
Jeez, everything's just different words.
You mentioned boot. It reminds me of something we've spoken about on the show before. Remember what that was?
No, I don't remember ever even being on here, to be honest.
Yeah, refresh our memory.
The dick boot, man.
Oh, the dick boot.
Dick boot for life, man. Yeah.
I remember the dick boot.
What is dick? Is that's like a boot that you put over your penis?
I think that's what.
I think that's what we
Yeah.
came up with. Yeah.
Yeah, but why?
I don't know.
We were talking about the fact that you probably don't own a pair of sweatpants, like, because you're always like so well dressed and you always have the hat on.
Mhm.
And I believe you said, we asked you how you go to sleep, like you wear pajamas or whatever, and you said just in your boots. And if I recall correctly, you said you want one on your dick as well. So,
Dude,
yeah,
that's what the dude. I mean, I was talking crazy
I think you might have had a few.
because I don't. What I wear on my penis is actually a Tiva sandal.
Oh, nice.
Those are very
strapped in.
You can kind of
It's got
strap
like
it around.
feels like a yoga mat, right? Like it's so soft. Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Oh shit! Did you notice little fences back here? He's got a mask on.
What the hell, dude? How'd
You
you,
don't
how'd
want
you
him
find a
getting
little
sick.
mask?
It's a piece of paper towel I cut out and taped,
Whoa, dude.
but it looks legit.
You know why I'm getting sick?
I don't, because Dave's got COVID. We were just talking about that before you got in.
He had it too.
Do you have it still?
I don't know. I think I'm almost positive I had it because like I still like if I breathe out, like if I were to try to run, I can't. I just feel an alien presence in my upper respiratory area. And it feels just, I don't feel sick, but I did for maybe 2 weeks. I feel like if I were to stand from here, and walk to the kitchen, I'd be like, oh, and I've always felt like car sick and like I just couldn't breathe well. And I don't know.
Yeah,
And it was weird, man. Yeah, and I did have I do and always remain to have my sense of smell and taste, but I believe with the what is it, Omicron, whatever.
Omicron, whatever it is.
Yeah, that you sense of smell and taste is often not
none
gone. I mean, well, no, I'm saying that a lot of the people with that one, they still have it. There's sense of smell.
Wow.
Yeah, it's, I mean, well, the fucking symptoms for it, not to like go off on some tangent or something, but they're honest to goodness, they're pretty funny because they're just like, stuffy nose, cough, fatigue. I'm like, dude, I feel like a lot of people have felt that way since the 80s, like all day.
I've had this nasal voice since I was a little kid. Like I've had allergies forever, man. And I'm allergic to like not dangerously allergic to like things, but I'm allergic to almost everything, like trees, grass, you fucking name it, the world.
Fun.
So I'm just always congested. I always have this voice and this like, congestion. So yeah, I don't know if I ever had it. I was telling Dave before we started here. I think I had it before it was like a big thing in the news and everything, like 2020, early winter. It was
you had it before it was cool?
Before it was cool. Like it was like 4 or 5 days and it was just a weird feeling I never felt before. But ever since then, either I am COVID, like I'm giving it to everybody, and I don't even know I have it, or I haven't had it at all since then, or ever. I have no idea.
One man super spreader.
Wow. I bet you that you'll get it though, because I guess with the exception of you, Jesus, every person that I'm in contact with has it right now or had it like a week ago.
I know, man. Everyone I know has it. Everybody.
Yeah.
My wife doesn't have it, but here's the crazy thing about that. So 2009, she got the swine flu.
Oh.
Right. And I didn't even fucking get it, dude. We were sleeping in the same bed together, and it was like insanely contagious. I think I have some kind of crazy immune system, man. I really do. Like, I don't really get sick ever.
Yeah.
And when it's really strange though. So for my wife not to get it, because she has a pretty low immunity. I'm bewildered by the whole thing. I'm just waiting for it to come, basically. And maybe it won't. I don't know.
It might not. I mean, my friend yesterday, she was like, well, I finally got COVID.
Yeah.
So it seems like it's happening to people who sort of are not necessarily like blasé about it or naysayers, but pride cometh before the fall.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I agree, man.
I don't know. It just, the thing is, it seems to affect everybody differently. So that's sort of the thing. It's not a matter of like, are you going to get it? It's like, it just depends on, how it works on you, because I don't get sick either, man. Like, I've never really had a cold or the flu or anything either. And this, I wouldn't say that I was even sick. I just felt like I wasn't inside of my body or something. I just felt dickied with. I felt as if someone had gone in and just was fucking with me. And it felt, it was a little frustrating, because I was like, man, this shit doesn't feel natural.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're saying.
It just that's what creeped me out about it. And everyone that I talked to about it said the same thing. Like my friend in Seattle, he had it and he was like, yeah, it was like a really mild cold, but like my left arm hurt and it lasted for like 20 days.
Right.
I'm like, that's, just sort of like, it's almost as if like an alien like made a cold.
Yeah.
You like describe a cold to an alien and they're like, or like AI made a cold.
Right.
And they did like kind of a fucking dumb thing with it. Like, it's just not like, I want like a classic chicken soup fucking cold.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I know, man. And I agree with that. One of my friends, actually, she got it last Christmas, and a very healthy person. I mean, as far as I know, she eats pretty well, like fucking kale, breakfast, lunch, and dinner,
Mm-hmm.
She had it for like 8 months.
Whoa.
Yeah. She had it for like 8.
Yeah.
She had a fever the whole time too. Like not like a crazy fever, but higher than her normal temperature.
Mm-hmm.
And then she got the vaccine, and now it's like she can't breathe, like going up the stairs. And it's like everybody reacts differently to not only COVID itself, but to the vaccine. So the whole thing is twisted up, man. It's really fucked.
Yeah, for sure.
It's the weirdest thing of all time. My buddy Bernard got COVID, and he said that his hips hurt really bad and that he just had really bad anxiety. I was like,
wow.
Not COVID.
Yeah, I know. But you know what? Is he tested positive for COVID? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And he's like, yeah, I wasn't sick, but my hips hurt and I had bad anxiety. And then he said the COVID went away, like that went away. And then he tested negative for COVID, and then he couldn't taste after. That's what I'm saying.
I just spoke to someone today. Yeah. I just spoke to someone today who had the same thing in a way. Like they were a little sick, and then afterwards they couldn't taste anything.
Yeah.
Really fucking weird. Like, can you taste anything, Dave?
No, still not.
But you haven't had it the whole time, or just now?
Immediately since Monday. Last Monday, couldn't taste. Still can't.
It's insane.
It's like bacon, nugget.
I mean, I don't want to be conspiracy theory guy, but there's just something about it. There's just something weird about it.
Yeah.
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 I don't know.
But we don't got to talk about that the whole time. This was supposed to be our Christmas show, and this is now
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. This is our post Christmas show, COVID edition. You know, but we can get it. You know, first of all, rest in peace, Betty White.
Oh yeah, dude. You know what?
You know,
you know, like sometimes on like Tour de France, like when a guy's like about to go over the finish line, he raises his arms.
Yeah.
And then
That's
he
what
crashed. Yeah, dude. When I seen that Betty White turns 100, I was like, oh shit. I mean, I'm not trying to make a joke about her death. Like, no, I could give a fuck about her fans. I mean, fuck them all, honestly, because I don't know her. Just some old lady. And her fans are just some other fucking.
You want to root for them to hit 100? Like, what if it's like a 2 weeks?
I just think it was funny though that it was like
they were making such a big deal.
It already hit the printers and they already put it out, and she didn't make it. But you know what?
New Year's Eve, you know, at 99. Crazy.
Oh, she died on New Year's Eve, didn't she?
Right.
Damn, dude.
She couldn't even make it to the year, you know.
What was her birthday?
And they just like lowered her body instead of the ball.
Yeah. Oh man, this whole section is gonna be the trailer of the episode. I don't give a fuck about Betty White.
Well, I really don't. I don't, and I think that like there's this like real thing that people love to do, and it's just irritating. Like, let's just all admit that you love the person you're fucking or your family barely. That's it. And it's just like, and no one wants to admit that. Everyone's so petrified of dying. We really, you know, you go to squash an ant, the ant moves away. We're horrified. We want to stay safe, and we want to stay around people who keep us safe. And we love a very, very select group of people. So like when my buddy's like, oh my God, the drummer from the Stones died, dude. Oh no. I'm like, you don't actually give a fuck. Like, just stop it. And I guarantee you that a bunch of hipsters putting Betty White on Instagram, like, we lost a real one. It's like, did you ever even watch the Golden Girls?
I was just gonna say that. Right. It's always this thing where, you know, it's weird though, and I agree with you, but at the same time, like, there's certain artists or whatever that I had, you know, that I didn't know, obviously, but I don't even know if it's lame to say, but like maybe felt a connection with just through their music. You know what I mean? So when they do pass, I'm not like devastated. I'm not crying. You know what I mean?
Right, you're just bummed.
But I lost a little piece of something that I cared about. Definitely, you know?
Yeah.
But that's about as far as I go, you know?
That's one thing for sure. I mean, if you live with someone like intimately, like whether it be just in your mind or whatever, that's valid. I mean, if you listen to an artist every day or read their books or watch their movies when they die, it's like, whoa, you know, that does feel strange. I just think that, God, and I feel like I'm talking like fuck Betty, like I'm starting this like wave of like, I hate Betty White. No, but I'm saying, you know, she's like obviously like an icon and stuff, but it almost became this borderline like meme, like current culture, like icky, no ground to stand on type of thing, where it's like you just see motherfuckers posting like protect Betty White at all costs, like you know what I mean? It's it just became a meme, like we got to protect Betty White, and it's just like everyone's just talking about it, and it's just like it's just transparently non-sincere, I think. You know, it's like a trend.
She just became this thing that, like,
I agree,
either millennials or whatever have like latched onto.
Yeah, I mean, the only reason I even brought it up is because I was watching TV before, and I saw Ozzy Osbourne, and I'm like, this motherfucker, man. He's outlived Tom Petty, Prince, David Bowie. I mean, Betty White was old, but just all these people, and he's still fucking ticking, man. Keith Richards still ticking, you know. So what does that say? Does that say like if you're an insanely raging drug addict, you're just gonna outlive everyone? It's like Scarface. It's like the end of Scarface, when he gets shot 500,000 times, but he's still
Right.
alive because of all the cocaine that he has running through his blood.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like it's because like sure, like on a large scale, if you look at like graphs and percentages and shit, it's like there are ways to like, you know, circumvent risk and quote unquote live longer, allegedly. But I don't know, man. It's like I honestly don't think that just because you drink and do drugs that you're gonna fucking die.
No.
I mean, it's just that's just
All
not.
luck of the draw.
I think
think
yeah, I
it's-
think most of it is luck. Yeah.
I think it's the same thing as COVID, actually. I think it affects everyone differently, you know?
Mhm.
I know people who have been like drinking since they were fucking 13 and, you know, like every day and whatever. They're, you know, they function, they go to work and
Yeah,
probably outlive us all.
I know it's weird. And then you'll hear about
Yeah.
some kid dying of liver failure when he was like, you know, 42. And you're like,
Yeah.
whoa.
I know. I knew a kid who died, you know, after a gram of coke and like a fucking e-pill.
Yeah.
Really?
It was like it's like one time, dude. I'm like, dude, that was like a regular, you know, Monday night at one point in my life.
Yeah, dude. I was gonna say
Crazy.
I used to be able to do like I could do a gram of blow like to fucking wake up in the morning. Like I don't
Yeah.
know.
Brush my teeth. That's it.
Yeah. That's weird. I just, you know, I think like some people just aren't strong. Like they're and I don't mean that in like a mean way, but it's like some people are just fucking just tough as nails. And I
Yeah.
I don't get it where they're just they have a resilience to them, and it's insane because yeah, I've definitely I know tons of people who have died, and I would look like when I used to, you know, be real bad with everything, I would look at like these lists of like, and these lists that were like famous online, like, oh, this is how much, you know, I'm not talking about the Hunter S. Thompson one. That one's pretty crazy, but the Dennis Hopper one, there's like, yeah, I would do like a gram of blow a day and, you know, and like 22 beers and like some rum. And this was written down because this was like, oh, wow. Oh my God. And I read that and I was like, that sounds great. Like that seems normal, you know? And it's like, but this is a list that people are like passing around like, oh man, like I'd die if I did that.
Right. Right.
And I mean,
So that brings me to the question. It's going to be a very unpopular question for anyone listening, but should we not have the vaccine? Like, should we are we forcing something? Are we forcing the people who shouldn't survive to survive? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want I'm glad my mom got it. Like she has cancer, you know?
yeah.
But are there some people that are just not meant to survive? And we're like reversing that by trying to stick some shit in ourselves.
I mean, I would say, I mean, my answer would be that civilization is always going to have, you know, medical advancements that will, you know, cause us to live longer. That's just sort of our bread and butter. I mean, that's like, I think that is our sole purpose. It's become our sole purpose on Earth is to advance medicine and technology. So,
I think it's super important.
Yeah, I mean, with the mindset that you're proposing, let's say we had done that a long time ago, you know, and then you just got, you know, cowboys dying at 35 and shit, you know, it's like,
right.
I don't know. I think that it's going to keep advancing. And then, you know, we're going to end up dying at like 115 years old and things like that.
Right.
So my answer would not be whether or not we should, because that's just, I mean, the sun will rise, you know?
Right.
But are there like, I mean, the real trippy question that's very hard to answer, is there a moral dilemma with vaccine mandates? And is that like, you know, that your autonomy and your body freedom is being, you know, encroached in like by the government, and like, is that cool.
Right.
But like, is that also like a personal freedom that's not quite a personal freedom, where it's like, hey man, like I want to be able to fire a gun randomly. That's my, I mean, it's like, at what point is it like they're not trying to fuck with your freedom, they're just actually trying to like save people? And I think that that question probably comes down to the person asking it. It's like, how much do you trust people who are allegedly looking out for your best interest?
Right.
So it comes down, it's like it's, you know what it is, man? Taking the vaccine is like believing in God. You got to like take a leap of faith, I guess.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, listen, whatever people want to do is fine by me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care. I'm not going to judge anybody. I don't really even have a belief on the whole thing. I just think that no matter what it is, we should be able to do what we feel is right for us, for our individually. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. No, that's true. It and then it opens up so many other strange questions where it's like, well, if you don't want to be vaccinated, that is your choice, and it only puts you at risk. If the vaccine were to work in a way, once you're vaccinated, you're safe. So what does it matter what this person does? If they don't get vaccinated, that's essentially a form of suicide, I guess.
Right.
I mean, it obviously it's not, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, let Bob do whatever he wants because we're all vaccinated. It can't hurt us.
Right.
Yet that argument gets confusing because everyone who's vaccinated still gets COVID and still can pass COVID around, you know, and then you can say that, and then they say, well, if you get vaccinated, the risk of hospitalization or death decreases greatly if you catch COVID. But vaccinated people can still give people COVID. So if a guy is unvaccinated and he has COVID and you're vaccinated, it's not his fault that you got COVID, that he's unvaccinated, because your vaccinated friend can give you COVID.
Right.
So the bottom line is we're all gonna get fucking COVID.
100%.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, and that's not me being anti-vaccination. I'm just saying, Dave, you have COVID, you're vaccinated, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what the fuck? There you go.
Everyone I know
is
vaccinated and has it.
It's crazy.
And I would venture to say that, David, that you have COVID as a vaccinated, boosted, whatever, and it's not to the fault of someone who's not vaccinated.
No, it was from my son was also vaccinated. He gave
and you got it from him.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
Bizarre.
There you go. There's your podcast.
Dr. Fauci.
This definitely is the COVID edition. We keep coming back to it, but it's so in our face right now that it's like hard to avoid it. As much as I want this to be fun and entertaining, it is in a way, you know, but you just can't help it. It's just in your fucking face all day, every day.
It's
I'm an ignorance is bliss guy. Like there's no news on in my house ever. I don't even know what's going on half the time. If I don't see it on fucking Instagram or Facebook, I don't know what's happening. So it is an ignorance is bliss thing. And I'm not saying that's a good thing, but that's just how I am. Like, I just avoid it. I just avoid all of it. And I'm not saying that's not why I don't have COVID. And I'm sure I'll get it or whatever, but like out of sight, out of mind for me right now.
It's kind of like, you know, at the end of the day, like I think of that sometimes. I'm like, what about, you know, someone with no TV, no nothing. It's like, if they got sick in the last year, pretty sick, and now they're all right, it's like they just got sick and they don't even know. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because I'll say that, you know, I'm sure I'm not unique in this, but if I feel a little like verklempt or something, even, I'm like, oh man, here it is. This is it.
Yeah.
You know?
No, yeah. And now I'm a smoker. So when I go out to stores, you know, I got my mask on, but I'm coughing because I'm smoking. And people look at you now when you cough.
Yeah, of course.
You're now like a target. You're a fucking like
stink eye.
yeah, like stay away from this motherfucker, you know?
No, that shit's tough. I just tell people, I literally do. I'm like, I'll like cough in my mask and I'm like, I smoke a lot. I'm all right.
I know. You know, I'm around people all the time with you know, like I cut hair and stuff like that. And I'm coughing and I'm like, listen, I don't have COVID. I smoke, I have allergies. Or do I? Or have I had COVID for 2 years? I have no idea, man.
You don't even know.
I have no fucking idea.
That's why you're so funny, because you're like walking around coughing, having all these feelings. You're like, I don't have COVID, but like you literally might. Yeah. That's so funny.
Like I said, I might actually be COVID. Like,
yeah,
like the outbreak monkey, man.
Dude, I don't have COVID, but I might. That's you should on a fucking shirt, dude.
That's your shirt.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised they haven't made. I mean, they probably made them, but I haven't seen them in public, like crazy COVID shirts. You know, like I have COVID or something like that on the front, and I never seen that.
Dude, I saw the worst shirt today, and I could tell that this kid was just a prick by the tone of his voice. I was in some like vintage store in where was that? Hollywood? It was in Hollywood, and like some kid like kind of just like slid in like a prick. Not like he didn't come in, he sort of like glided in. You know, like he thought he was awesome. I can't even explain. He just kind of like no, like he like slid in like he was like from the future, kind of. And he had like those weird pants that dudes wear that are like workout pants, but they're real tight at the bottom.
Yeah.
And then those like funny, like they look like Kanye West night fucking sweats, like the shoes. They're like those weird shoes where it looks like you just like dipped your foot in like wet black rubber and pulled it out. Dude, he looked like a fucking superhero or something. But he just like slid in. He looked like he just got a haircut. You know what I mean? And then he literally is like, he's like, where do you keep your sunglasses at? And I was like, shit. And he's just some like, but he sort of sounded like he was British, some weird white kid. I just fucking, I didn't like him. But he turns around and he starts walking away, and I look him up and down, right? And the back of his hoodie said, vaccinated and ready to fuck. And I was like, dude, I knew I hated this kid. I knew I hated his energy right away.
Yeah.
And then he walks away with that shit.
It just seals it.
Like, dude, first of all, no one wants to fuck that kid, whether he's vaccinated or not.
He's ready.
His dad was definitely at Woodstock 99.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, for sure.
That's the fucking, those are the kids.
Yeah, dude. He was fucking, his dad was fucking a Limp Biscuit for sure. It's
Brody.
Yep.
God, his dad had a hard biscuit. I don't like that, dude.
That's a terrible.
You know what's funny though is that kid is like, his sweater is so like fucked for like the like progressive left, because it's like, you know, those people like adore the vaccination. It's like their gospel, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're like just insane about it. So it's like he wins in that front, but the shirt is very like misogynistic.
For sure.
So it's like I could just see someone being like, oh, I love your shirt. It's very responsible, but oh, that's bad at the bottom. The ready to fuck part. That's not good. You know?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. But that's funny that I just said, like, I never seen a shirt like that, and you saw one today.
Yeah, but I'm in LA, dude. I'm literally in the land of the fucking biggest douchebags of all time. All day I see them.
I can agree. I can agree with that for sure.
You are.
I mean, I'm out. Good.
I was just gonna say yesterday, I said to Maxine, I was like, what are people here? Like, what is that? Like, I'll see people that I know are cool. You can tell they're cool. You're like, but they're wearing clothes. I don't even know where the fuck they got it. Like, where do you buy that? Like even like, if you were to kind of squint, the silhouettes, like a crop top that like goes out to here and like big shoes and like tote bag, looks like a little parachute and like weird asymmetry. It's just like,
Yeah.
Just the fucking, I don't even know what's going on, man. Cause I thought, oh man, you know, I'm trendy with, you know, my vintage and my like I'm probably trendy and I look like shit, you know. But I realize I'm like, I don't see one person who looks like me here. I feel like fucking like Marty McFly when he goes to the future and all those bullies and shit. That's what I feel like. I'm like, what are these kids wearing? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And I just realized, like, man, I'm not cool. I'm really not cool. Cause like I'm wearing like, holy shit, I'm wearing like Levi's 501s or Wranglers and they fit my body. I'm not wearing like fucking Travis Scott's like McDonald's like parachute pants that like zip into 7 different things and like also turn into like a fucking scooter. I don't know.
They do.
Well, you would definitely blend in more in New York, like New York City, easily.
Yeah, for sure.
I blend in anywhere I go, which is weird because like wherever we go, we never stick out as like tourists, you know, like we went to London and France and stuff like that. But one thing I noticed in places like that, people really dress, like especially in London, especially during like a work week. They are fucking decked out, man. It's crazy. You feel like a dirt bag walking down the street, even if you have nice clothes on.
Yeah. Yeah, London people look beautiful. It's like everyone looks like they just like, you know, received oral like at the tailor and then walked out. Like they look like they just kissed and like spanked and like pants hemmed up. And they're always wearing a trench coat, man. But like not like a Hamburglar too big, like lazy one.
Perfectly
like
fit.
Fucking nice.
It fits perfect, exactly like a glove. No, it's weird. It's how all these different, like I wouldn't blend in LA at all. You know what I mean?
We'd be like places that way, dude.
Yeah. Some places you just don't belong there. You just simply don't belong there. And not because of the way you dress, just because of the type of people that you're surrounded by. It's like, you know, sometimes I feel like I don't belong on Long Island. I'd be better off in like New York, but I hate being in New York City for too long. It makes me fucking crazy.
Yeah.
You know, people on Long Island are fucking assholes, man.
Yeah, Long Island's kind of weird. I feel like I don't want to be mean to it, but
no, go ahead, man.
It seems like it seems a little bit like time capsule, which is like a positive thing sometimes because it's cool because there's like, you know, family businesses and like grandma's recipe and all that shit.
Yeah.
But also it's like you still see dudes that look like they'd be at Woodstock 99. You still see like the blowout haircut and like you see shit that's like, yo, you cannot, like if you took some dudes from like Long Island where it's like these dudes are like getting laid and they have money and they're like cool on Long Island, you put them somewhere else and people would be like whoa, like that looks like one of those kids from that show on MTV a long time ago. Right. You know what I mean?
Exactly. You actually hit it right on the head, man. It's like pieces of time are still stuck here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I know the 90s is kind of back right now everywhere, but it was here like 5 years ago, you know, and not in a cool way. It was just stuck from a past time.
Dude, that's
it's interesting.
That makes me think of, I actually saw this happen to a guy and it was the weirdest thing. It was this vintage seller in Seattle. I won't say his name as if anyone would like track down the first name of some guy, but like he looked like, you know, like grunge, but like legit grunge, like cargo over the thermal pants, the combat boots, you know, the ripped shirt, the flannel, the curly long hair, like just like the classic grunge, like singles Eddie Vedder, Seattle grunge. Yeah, exactly. Citizen Dick. He looked like straight out of that since like 89. Yeah. You know, he looked like that and didn't stop looking like that. Right. So when like probably 1998 hit, he was a fucking joke all the way until about till now. And like,
Yep.
and now it's like, you'll see like girls walk
Everyone
by like, whoa, where'd you get that flipper shirt? You know, it's like
at their show in '89.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, he just like, that's the funniest thing about how like trend cycling back.
Oh yeah.
If you fucking hold on tight, dude, they'll come back.
It's so true, man. It's so true. All these like all the early 2000s and new metal guys with the Adidas jumpsuits are fucking killing it right now.
I know.
But they weren't killing it for a good 20 years.
Dude, imagine in like probably like a year, Long Island's gonna be like a fashion capital.
Yeah. Every year is represented. Every trend is represented, and it never goes away.
Dude, it's funny. There's an Instagram account of this dude who like has like the tight puka shell necklace, the bleached tips spiked, and like he wears I believe they're Jankos, really big pants. I'm not sure if they're Jankos. They might be Lee pipes. Doesn't matter. And he rollerblades in like the Jankos, no shirt, the thing, and the spikes. And he rollerblades on Instagram, and he'll do it to like POD, like I'm so alive for the very first time. Yeah. I thought that his page was like a parody page, like a joke page. And I realized it's like a new movement.
Yeah.
It's the weirdest thing.
You have to send me a link.
That's one of the words for it. Weird. Yeah.
Yeah, this dude's like fucking way cooler than me right now. And I thought it was a joke.
Yeah. No, dude.
Like, I'm laughing in my cowboy hat. And meanwhile, this guy's like,
yeah. Just a few months ago, I like signed up for TikTok for, it's like, put this on there. And I'm like, this isn't going to make it anywhere on TikTok right now. This, what I'm doing here is not, it's just not going to get any attention. And that's fine. It is what it is. Everything has its place. But yeah, it's full of this really weird shit that you would never think would be cool again. Like ever. Like who thinks dude, I cut hair. You know how many mullets I cut on kids' hair? Mullets. I try to talk them out of it, and I listen, I don't care what you get, but I'm like, listen, this is just a stupid trend right now. And you're going to ruin your hair. Like you have this nice fucking long hair. Like Chris has this nice long hair. You're going to ruin your hair. It's never going to grow back right for a trend. That's fucking retarded, man. I'm sorry, but it is.
That's crazy. Well, it's because, nothing moves quicker than like the digital world. Everything moves so fast. So to actually commit to it physically is alarming because like a mullet, like I think mullets are fucking awesome. Sorry. But but imagine like, because you could get a haircut and then literally like tomorrow it's not cool. Like it's moving so fast.
That's kind of what I'm saying. I don't really have anything against mullets. I don't know about like kids getting them. It just seems weird. Whenever I think of a mullet, I think of like, Garth Brooks or shit like that.
Yeah, like an older guy. Yeah.
Or Billy Ray Cyrus, right?
Yeah.
I don't think of like kids in school.
No.
With backpacks on. I don't know.
Can you imagine a kid
fucked up
right now with a mullet? That's so wild. That's the weirdest thing, dude. I don't know if I could handle it, dude.
Yeah.
Just to see like a bunch of kids with mullets right now in school.
Yeah. And now it's a different kind of mullet. It's like, it's not straight, back and down. It's like kind of frayed out. So it's kind of messy looking. It almost looks like a mohawk, like a crazy mohawk. More than a mullet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I've seen that mullet. And it looks like a mullet that like Sting would have had.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like the police.
Yes. Exactly. Like where the fuck did that come from? How did that come? It's just really weird. But I'll tell you what, Dan, I'm still charging the same amount of money and I'm not cutting anything but the sides, and that's it. The sides of your hair.
Only sides.
So keep it going. Let's, bring it on. 5-minute haircut.
Well, here's what would what you could do on TikTok is this would work as stupid as it is be like the mullet barber, like on TikTok.
Mullet king.
Yeah.
Just mullet king, dude. Just mullets all day.
That's a phenomenal idea.
Just before and after. And like, and what'd be funny is like they walk into your little lair where you cut the hair and you just have the plastic heads and there's maybe like 6 different mullets, you know?
Yeah, you're like,
Yeah. Do you want the
What
Billy
do you
Ray?
think?
Do you want the
Pick a
Sting?
number.
Which one you want? Yeah.
Dude, that'd be cool.
That would be cool.
I actually wanted a mullet and my wife was like, no. I said, all right, whatever. But I totally think that like I would have got the mullet and probably felt cool for like 15 minutes. And then
and then
like,
you're gonna miss.
And then the regret would kick in, man. You know?
yeah.
I
Well,
had
it's
this.
nice. You just take your hair, you put it behind your ear, dude. You can get that mullet.
You
know
can't
what I
just
mean? The Tinted
slick it,
Waterfall.
slick it with gel, and you're all set.
I think I might head out, guys.
Yeah, Dave. I was actually just about to ask you if you
Yeah,
were
I'm
how you
trying to-
doing.
Yeah.
All right,
I can
Dave.
sleep.
Thanks for fucking trooping it, man. I really appreciate it.
Love you guys.
All right, feel better.
Everybody.
Love you, man.
Peace out.
Peace.
Ah,
So, oh, he's still
can't
here.
do it. Get rid of me.
Yep.
Yeah.
There he goes. All right. So I just wanted to talk really quick about this before we go. Dude. So are they still available? This is the Fences to the Tall Trembling Trees cassette. There's only 48 of them.
Yeah, I have like a few. I think I have a few left.
Few left.
Yeah, I feel like
It's orange.
yeah, that thing's rad, man. I like a bunch of like me and my musician friends were saying that like tape is like our favorite medium, almost like more than vinyl, because you not even to listen to it, but it's just like a cool baseball card or something. It's like,
It is.
check this out.
It is.
Yeah, it has a nice vibe to it. I do have some left. I think sometimes when I post stuff, it's like people really need like direction. Like it's really taught me a lot about like you almost have to put it in their hand, like, because I'll get like a DM on like the Fences page, not on the store page, where someone's like, how do I get a tape? And I'm like, well, the actual image that has the tape on it, there's a link that you click. That link, it leads you to the place with further instruction to
Yes.
get the tape.
Yes.
And you just kind of realize like that's like, so like if all of them didn't sell right away, I'm like, oh, no one likes Fences anymore. But obviously 48 fucking people want the goddamn tape.
Right.
But no, people are like, what? I see it, I have to click and go, and then it's just like I think that's why I should have just done like an NFT.
Yeah.
You know,
I've been looking at shit like that. I'm like, I don't even know what it is, because I do graphic design. So I'm like, should I start doing this? I don't know. I don't even know what the fuck it is. And so I did a whole bunch of research on it, and I still have no fucking idea what it is.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, I think the reason like NFTs are cool is because like obviously it's like on the blockchain and stuff, and it's like even if someone screen grabs it, it's like them taking a picture of something that's your item, so it's always yours.
Right.
But the fact that there's like stuff underneath what you own, do you know what I mean? So like, let's say like I could sell an NFT that with the NFT came like I'll handwrite you a song, I'll do this, I'll do that. Like it comes with like other stuff. It's almost sort of like a digital token. I feel like that it has more to do with than just like the image itself. It's like a pass, a token. It's something like that.
Okay. So what, I mean, why? Like, if you like, let's say I wanted this tape, right? And in order to get it, I needed to buy an NFT. Well, why can't I just get the fucking tape and not have to? It's actually an extra step at this point.
Yeah.
I just don't understand it.
They're so strange. I don't either. I mean, I do in a sense, but it's almost like, it's like I get it, but maybe I don't. I mean, does it? I hear it increases in value, but I don't understand how. Maybe I'm too old, man. I think it's for the younger generation. I just don't know. It's just crazy because I saw like they'll be like, okay, like, you know, blah blah blah, like has like he bought this NFT yacht ape for like $600,000.
Yeah.
And then he's like, and then he mutated him with a serum that bid for $2.5 million. And then so then you're like, wow, like, so he just has this image, but then I guess like you get like a free space shuttle ride or some shit. I don't like it, you know,
right.
like those I think that those like the bored ape things, if you like show that you have it, you can like get into places. And so it's like is what I'm saying is it's more than like, you're not just sitting and like looking at it on your phone like, I love this art piece. Like, I don't think that that's what it is.
Okay, right.
It seems to me to be essentially like social stature, of course.
Yeah, yeah.
Because it's like, yo, why did like Steve Aoki buy like some shit that looks like it was made on like Microsoft Paint,
right,
for like hundreds of thousands of dollars? Like, clearly an underlying value to it.
Yeah, that's interesting. You actually put it in like terms I understand, kind of.
Yeah,
you know,
it
but
is
like,
more like that, because it's not just digital art, because that stuff's not really like, because then that would imply that our taste for art has just changed, and we think that like, you know, like a monkey with a backpack, like a cartoon, is art.
right.
It's not that at all. It's like yeah, it's just a thing. It's kind of like, how do I put it? They say stuff like, you know, like if you're walking around, like, because people say, oh, NFTs, like, you can't see it, you can't touch it, blah blah blah, but like, you can't see like my blue check on Instagram when I walk around. But that has like a value, that blue check. It's like it puts your comment up top. Yes. It makes people respond to you, blah blah blah. So it's sort of, it's one of those things. It's a bit hard to explain. It's kind of like,
yeah,
it's not really tangible,
right?
But it is. It's just some sort of.
It's it's like a medal in a way, like a,
yeah.
You know, it's an exclusive thing. You can do this now because of this, and I don't know how I feel about it. It's kind of weird. I think it's a lot, a lot to digest.
Yeah, I don't really dig it, man, and I don't know. I get a little all that kind of stuff. I mean, I've been weird for years about the internet and like all my concerns or whatever, but this one, like all that with like was it Ethereum or whatever? Ethereum, yeah, like all the crypto stuff, and people are like the metaverse, and you know what I mean? And it's like I think like Snoop Dogg, the rapper, obviously, you ever heard of him? He bought a bunch of land in the metaverse. Like, he bought it on the blockchain. He owns this land in the metaverse, and some guy wanted to be his neighbor. So he spent, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars to be Snoop's neighbor on land that's really not real. But like, but it is, right, though. Like, it's not. It's so fucking strange. And I just think, you know, and now they're having like they call them like haptic gloves. You can wear these things, you know, and it's like, next thing you know, we're going to be on like a multi-directional treadmill. It's going to be like Ready Player One, you know. Right. And right. I think I feel like this is turning into like some like Gary V, Elon Musk type of conversation, but I'm pretty sure that within 1 to 2 decades, we're going to be fucking strapped into this shit like constantly. Yeah. And then that's just kind of like weird to me. I don't know. It is fucking, man. It is. There's, you know, like it's hard to even to judge it, because I dig the technology. I think I dig the advancements of people like making like this new currency, you know, like living outside of the box that we were put in. But when is too much, you know? Like, I'm simplistic, man. I like a fucking cassette, you know? I like to drink coffee on a Sunday morning and fucking listen to a cassette, right? Yeah. I don't need to plug my fucking skull into the Matrix, essentially. You know, I just feel like it's way too much. It's way too much, but nothing we can do about it. I hear you. But at the same time, it's like, look at what we're doing right now. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's like we're doing it right now.
I know.
And it's funny, and it's like, well, we may view this as like, you know, entry level and still organic, but if someone from the 70s saw us doing this right now, they'd be like, holy shit.
Right.
You know, so
Right.
it's like it all depends on what your normal is, because the fact of the matter is we're doing some crazy futuristic shit right now, but it's just on a lower level. So I just think,
yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, and think about a child who's born and they see this right out the gate. It's like, so this is like their normal. So yeah, pretty soon it'll be like, I guarantee in 15 years, a kid will come home from school, put on his headset, go like this, spin his chair, his buddy will put it on, they'll walk, they'll meet in some area. I mean, they're already doing that. People are like hanging out in the metaverse. Like, people are in the metaverse going to see like stand-up comedy, paying the motherfucker in currency that he can use inside the metaverse. And it's like, it's bizarre. And the funny thing is, I believe that type of money can be used into like real money that you could use in the real world too. It like has like a value. It doesn't just like, you know, it's not like if you get a bunch of coins when you're playing Mario, that when you turn the system off, your money's gone. I think this shit it actually has value in the real world too. Right. So it's like, they say that there's, I don't know for sure, but I think there's people that have full-time jobs or part-time jobs inside the metaverse right now.
Yeah, man, it's really fucking trippy, to the point where it's like, did it exist all along? And is it just coming to the surface now because they found a way to market it? And have we been living, like, which one is the real world at this point? I don't even know. Like, you know,
I know. Yeah.
Not to get crazy deep or anything, but what's the meaning of anything, you know? Yeah,
it's a weird thing where it's like, I just don't understand. I don't know. You just want to kind of know like the psychology behind it. Like, what are we after? I guess, like, why do we want to go that way? Because it seems like there is always this talk about like self-care and like getting back to nature, and that's like this like whole kind of thing that people like dig, but at the same time it feels like we're like racing towards the complete annihilation of organics, and that's like weird as hell. And it's like that I guess that makes sense, because it's like you could be whoever you wanted in there, and like as the world just gets worse and worse, it's like oh, it doesn't matter because like I put this on, you know, and I'm this person and I'm doing this, and like it doesn't matter how my real life is. And that's like just kind of scary to me, that like because at what point does like the basic like just like the fundamentals of like a human life start to sort of, you know, fall and go to like the back seat, where it's like you're just gonna stop like cleaning your house and
right,
you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it's all the time. It's just like weird. And then all of a sudden you're gonna start to need less and less in the real world. You're like, well, I don't need a desk, I don't need a TV, I don't need this, I don't need that. And it's like, I just need a fucking little pod. Yeah,
like every Black Mirror episode that they're trying to tell you, like, God, this isn't going to work out well. You should like slow down a little bit. You know, and that's
the video game kid, when like time just keeps going and going really quickly.
Yeah,
that shit was depressing. Yeah, no thanks.
Yeah, no, it's crazy, man. You know, sometimes it's like I said, it's too much. And you know, so I was born in 1981. So like I am technically a millennial, right? Like I just made the millennial, whatever. I was born into it. Yeah. But I'm really not. Like I'm barely good at social media. I'm barely, you know, like whatever. All this computer stuff, I don't really know anything about it. I just do the bare minimum to make this happen so I can talk about all this crazy shit. Right.
It seems too much. And I don't know. I think that the true wizards of that stuff, they're probably like 10-year-olds or something. I mean, hopefully, I mean, I don't know if I want to see it get to that point, but hopefully I'm dead and gone, you know, by the time it gets real fucking weird.
Yeah. And that's another thing that I worry about, you know, like, at what point are you not even like, you know, when we were born, we were like, you know, live your dream. That's what you're supposed to do. Right. Like, you know, dream big and fucking make it happen. Right. There's no creativity left. I mean, there is, but like these kids that are sucked in already to the video games and all that shit, they're gone. They're not going to start a band. They're not going to fucking paint on a canvas. They're not going to draw in a sketchbook, whatever. They're not going to make a movie. Right.
Yeah.
They're just living this like virtual life that what is even the fucking point, honestly?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And I know I saw some things about people are in there painting, you know, you can actually like hold paint, like people are doing like mural in there, and like other people can go like see the mural, stuff like that. And it's just like, wow, like that's really, I don't even know what it is, man. It's like, is it disheartening? Do I even care? It's like, it's just kind of crazy. I just feel like, you know, I mean, obviously the grass is always greener and shit, but sometimes I just crave like, just like simple, tangible things. It's like, even as much as I say like, oh, I'm a purist in ways, it's like, I still make music on a laptop. It gets loaded to Spotify. It gets digital revenue that flows to my bank on my phone. Right. It's like none of it exists. Right. The music, the money, it's all gone. Right. You know, if this box that I'm talking to you, if this is gone and disappeared, my band doesn't exist. I don't have Instagram. I don't have Facebook. I can't get my money, my music. I can't hear my music. It's like I kind of want to like play an acoustic guitar for somebody and then have them like give me a plate of food for it. You know, like you want to like get back to this like real basic, almost just like bartering, like I'll barter my art with you or something, but like I don't know, like would you want that too? That's maybe a little bit too weird. Right. Also. No, I know exactly what you're saying, man, and I think about that all the time. Like, you know, like I said, I cut hair. It's not my dream job or anything, but what I really like about it is it's forced human interaction. Like until they invent like a helmet you can put on your head and, you know, push the mullet button and get whatever haircut you want. Those things, like that trade still exists. Yeah. And it's kind of an old trade, but it's still, there's nothing that can replace it as of yet. So that's one of the things I like about it, you know, and yeah, you're one of the last like crusaders of that, I think, is probably hairdressers, right? That's maybe one of the few. Yeah. So crazy. Essentially I crave that too. I crave that, like that simple interaction, you know? Yeah. It's weird, man. It's weird. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. You go out, I barely go out anymore. Like, you know, DoorDash exists, Domino's pizza delivery exists, right? Yeah. You know, me and Jess, we used to go out all the time. Every fucking Friday, Saturday night would come, we would go out to eat. And like, even little things like that, like restaurants are like kind of fading away because you can just sit on your couch and have fucking food delivered to you for 30% more than you would pay for it at the restaurant. Yeah. No, and that experience is like just slowly fading away. So I'm like, the other night, like during the winter break, I was like, let's go out to eat. We haven't been out to, like, I want to sit in a chair, not in front of a fucking television on a couch. I want to sit in a chair, put a napkin on my lap and, you know, order food and have somebody bring it to me. And it was great. You know, it's like, you need those things sometimes to remember, like there is an other world that we used to have. That's kind of just being, you know, taken away. It's weird. Yeah, that kind of stuff's really, it's really important, man. That whole like thing. I mean, it's just, it's hard when the digital side just becomes so not even easier, but like better sometimes. Like I noticed that like for like shopping or something, like today I was like, because I'd given a friend you know, like Niall Marr, obviously he was on the show.
Right.
I gave him like my favorite jacket, right? So I'm like, well, I need a jacket. So I'm gonna go out of my house into the world, the big scary world, which it is, by the way,
Right.
in Los Angeles. Bunch
Yeah.
of maniacs out there, but I'm like, I'm gonna go like look for a jacket, and it's like I'm looking, oh wow, you know, like at a vintage store, you know, used clothing. Like, this is cool. I'm walking around, I'm touching everything, I'm looking at everything. I'm like, I feel like a fucking, you know, like a human.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I can definitely get a better one on eBay though. You know what I mean? Like, for like, so the next thing you know, I'm home on my fucking phone, and I just hit a button and it's gonna be delivered to me. And I'm like, shit, you know, at least I tried. I tried to go out
right.
like a grown up, but
right. I can't tell you how many times I've gone to a store to look for something and I'd find it. I'd be like, well, let me check Amazon first because it may be cheaper. And I have Amazon Prime that I already pay for. So it's going to show up in 2 days. And before you know it, I'm walking out of the store with nothing. And I'm like, am I part of the problem? Am I part of the problem that's happening? Like, I don't want to be, but they kind of give me no choice, you know?
Yeah. I mean, at a certain point, it's not really your fault. They just box you into a situation where you can't do much else other than that. But like, you know, and there's all sorts of other weird things too. Like, let's say all of a sudden people want to start going out to eat again. Then all of a sudden everyone who does DoorDash or Grubhub for a living, they're going to suffer. Yeah. So it's like shit. I don't know. It's just
it's fucked, crazy. Man. I mean, DoorDash became really popular in 2020 because restaurants were shut down. But they were able to make food and people pick it up in the parking lot. So it kept the restaurants in business, but now the restaurants are empty. You can go out and, you know, to most restaurants and they're 6 o'clock on a Friday night and they're not empty, but they're not like they used to be, you know?
Well, what I think is probably, you know, going to happen is like it seems like whenever there's a change in like society where things just become easier and more efficient, albeit like uncomfortable, they usually never change back. Right. So it's like,
right.
I don't think, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't think that we're ever going to go back to like everyone's going out. And then eventually, like you said, now you have basically food delivery services and they're being housed by this big restaurant. So eventually they're going to go, well, no one's coming, but we're still selling just as much food.
Right.
We don't need all this space.
Right.
So you're going to have like weird, like food court sizes of restaurants that don't have indoor dining that just send out food to people. And it's going to be like this whole new model where it's like, oh, you want to go to Chili's? Oh, it's not Chili's anymore. It's like the size of a fucking kiosk. And there's just like this, you know, it's weird.
Yeah, there's just
that'll happen.
I guarantee that'll happen, man. And like people are excited like that this new Amazon thing is coming to Long Island. It's like the big warehouse where you go in and you put shit in your cart and you walk out and your phone charges you what you picked out. Like, why are you excited about that? That's not fucking good at all.
Yeah.
Like that's going to close. That's first of all, it's not offering any jobs for anybody.
Yeah.
It's, you know, maybe like one person's going to be there walking around. Who knows? With like a fucking headset on, you know?
And that's the thing is everyone will prefer that though. And everyone will prefer that. But that's the danger, dude, is because that just goes back to that weird metaverse bullshit and food delivery. It's like, why does it seem to me that every choice that leans towards like convenience also leans towards isolation?
Right.
You know,
right.
It seems like that is our great desire, is to not be around other people. And it's like, and I even feel that way now, like I'm starting to develop like agoraphobia because I feel like all I ever hear about is someone just killed a bunch of people for no reason.
Right.
You know, like, and like, it's so fucked up. And I admit, man, I literally, when I'm out, if I hear someone walking behind me, I'm like, this person's trying to do something. Everybody I pass, I perceive as a threat. Everybody.
Yeah.
You know, I'm in a 7-Eleven, someone walks in, I'm like, I'm like, what's the exit? Like, could I take them? Blah, blah, blah. Every single person I see. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with me? I never used to be like that. But I think it's because we're all becoming really isolated with like our little bubble of who we have in our life, and everyone else is a threat. And it's like, I feel like that's only going to get worse and worse and worse. It's like, imagine you leave your little like internet delivery bubble and you go out and you see like another person and you're like, oh, like, don't hurt me. I'm out to get supplies. And then I go back to the pod.
Right.
Like,
right. And I mean, listen, it's very like evident here in America, but it's not like that everywhere, you know?
Yeah.
There are places that don't accept any of this shit. And, you know, I'm not saying that's good or bad or whatever, but like, it needs to slow down a little bit, because you can relate this to everything. Like concerts, you can now buy a $25 ticket online and watch the concert online.
Yeah.
Fucking concerts, man. Concerts are like the best thing in the world. You go and you get drunk and you spill beer on yourself and you fucking, you know, throw a girl up on your shoulders and you have a great time, right?
Yeah.
Or a guy on your shoulder, whatever the fuck. And
that'll stop, man. That's probably gonna stop.
Like movies. We started this whole podcast off of movies. One of my favorite things in the world. Like, you know, I still go to the movie theater. I'm that guy. I don't like shit comes out on HBO and I'm like, all right, whatever. Like if it's something I'm not dying to go pay for, I'll watch it. But like, I want to go to the movie theater, you know? And it's like all these things
I want to go
buildings one day, and it's fucking kind of gloomy.
Yeah, it's sad, but it's like, if I'm in a movie theater, I'm like, someone's gonna kill me, or, you know, there's COVID in here, or someone has a gun. I just think one of those things, and that's just so fucked up, because I don't want to be like that. Because I remember when I lived in Seattle, there was a really old little movie theater by my house, and I'd probably go, like, I'm not joking, a few times a week.
Yeah,
because it was one of those little ones where
I love those. Yeah,
maybe like 40 people could fit in there. And I would go in there by myself, man. I would just go in there by myself, and like I'd bring in a beer, because it'd be like one old lady worked and she didn't even care. I'd bring in a beer and I'd watch the movies, and I just miss it. I wasn't afraid of anyone. You know, I'd look around and more so just have like an internal commentary on like how adorable the old couple was, or wondering what that guy's story was, why he was here the same time as me. Like, is it his day off? Blah, blah, blah. I used to kind of romanticize people and question things out of curiosity, not out of suspicion.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's just me or if I'm just a product of how things are going down.
No, I mean, it's like it happens to everyone, I think. You know, it really does. Like when I go places, I think like that too. Like I don't think I'm gonna get shot all the time, but it shouldn't even be a thought ever. You know, to the point where I'm walking into a store, like, could I die in like the next 10 minutes? Like, what the fuck?
I know.
But we're all fucked. We're all this is the darkest chaos ever.
This is fucking sadness in the garage.
But we obviously, you know what? We obviously needed to get it out, right?
Yeah.
That's the idea of this, is to just like try to come, not to like have a cathartic ending to any of it, but just to talk about it and like be like, all right, someone else understands what I'm saying. Feels good, even though we're doing it through a fucking computer screen.
Yeah. I mean, I guess, you know, like in closing or whatever, I just would hope that people try to remember or find like a small sliver of the fact that like everybody like isn't out to get you. I feel like I'm just talking to myself right now, but like maybe not everyone's out to get you, and like the world is still beautiful, and there's still like cool like squirrels and like babies and like, you know.
Well, and that's the thing, you know what? To end this actually on like a positive note, like we're just shoved the bad shit every day down our throats, right? Between the news and even social media, everything that just sucks is like shoved down our throats. And all these amazing things, there are bands out there, brand new bands and new movies and all this shit that are just kind of buried under all this haze, but they
Yeah.
are there. You just got to find them, and you got to step out of the fucking madness for a minute and throw on a fucking cassette, you know?
Yeah, right.
Like really, just take like that fucking, just take like one day to disconnect from all that shit. And man, you feel so much better. You really do.
Amen.
Yeah.
Cool.
So by the way, what's the Instagram for this, for your stuff for the store? Coyote Castle, right?
Yeah, Shop Coyote Castle. Yeah, it'd be
Shop
cool if
Coyote
people
Castle.
check that out. It's fun. I love it so much. It's like yeah, I just genuinely like love it because I just really like all the stuff that's on there. I like to find it and look at it and get rid of it and find new stuff. And so it's fun. It's like I would do it probably for free. And I mean, I don't make much money at all. Like it's
Yeah.
you'd think so, but it's like you got to take the hours to go find something. You have to buy it,
yep.
and you have to ship it,
Mhm.
which is always so expensive. And you just end up making like hardly anything. But that my point being is that I enjoy it because I love just, looking at all that stuff all the time anyways. So
yeah, I used to do it like much more than I do it now. I used to go around and, find like old toys and cool shit like that. Vintage typewriters and stuff like that. And I would sell them. I wouldn't make much, but it was a fun thing to do. And you like connected to something else,
Yeah. Yeah, it is fun. It's really fun.
But what I really think about, think about your shop is that it's got the things that you hand pick, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And even if it's something like merch, like t-shirts and things like that, you personalize them like tie-dye and fucking put your own touch on them. That makes it really unique. That's something I feel is missing in like a lot of artists, merchandise, is that personal touch to it,
Yeah.
So that's really cool.
Yeah. I kind of wanted it just to be like my little world in there, like where like obviously, because of like, fucking paperwork I've signed and the way things go, like Fence's merch will obviously be like on the label page and all that stuff. So the stuff that I sell here will be, or there rather, would be, like all the shirts that I'm selling are from like a European tour a while ago. So it's going to be sort of like, just the merch will be sort of weird, like just like leftovers from certain times or things that we found.
Right.
So I thought it would be kind of fun. And I'm like, yeah, if I find like 10, Fences shirts from like some weird show, I'm like, why the fuck wouldn't I dye them a bunch of colors and, stuff like that. It's just kind of like a weird little Fences store. And it's quite funny, when the world is, barreling towards NFTs and stuff, I feel like what I'm doing is like so quite literally hands-on, because I'm like wringing out dye and hanging them and like fucking goddamn when you can't find the edge of the tape to you know what I mean? I'm like dealing with that and like taping things, and I'm in the post office and everyone's coughing and but I
you know what though? Yeah.
It feels good. I'm very much like I'm living deliberately and kind of the old-fashioned way while doing this stuff, and I do enjoy it, especially when I'm not doing like tons of like music stuff at any given moment. I have some time, so it's nice.
You know what? We need that. That's exactly what we need to balance out all the craziness, man. It's like, I appreciate seeing things like that. It restores your faith in humanity a little bit when you see people are buying the stuff too, because they're craving it as well. So there are people out there that aren't just fucking, going all in on buying fucking non-existent land.
So it's cool. I get so excited. I mean, I try to like really, whoever buys something, I went and I had like really nice like stickers made. They're big and they're beautiful stickers,
I saw them. Yeah.
And I like write a little note, and it's nice. It feels like a very,
Yeah.
Especially right now, it just feels good to do that. Like I touch this, I ship this, you receive it. Like it's just fucking, it's the old way. And it does it. It's therapeutic, man. I love it. And it reminds me of like a friend of mine is like you should start like, we should like send each other letters. Like, I'm like, yeah, that seems cool. Like sending a postcard or a letter.
Yeah.
So it's just fun. Like I think there is a therapy involved in like, you know, getting something. Cause I get a lot of stuff online, but from like, you know, not Jeff Bezos, like some woman in Montana, and you get it and you can see how she wrapped it and she wrote a little something and you feel good. Like they're like in prison, you know?
Absolutely, man. No. And you know what? For Christmas, my wife was like, cause we don't need to buy each other shit anymore. We've been married fucking 14 years. And it's like, you know, yeah, we still want to exchange gifts because that's fun to do. And that's another tradition that we don't want to like just push to the side.
Right.
Like, she's like, what do you want? I'm like, you know what I really want? I want a fucking easel, like a Bob Ross, you know, fucking old school wooden easel.
Yeah.
And she got it for me, and she got me some canvases and like paints and stuff. And dude, I can't wait to fucking do it, man.
That's rad. Yeah, you have to show me when you get going. I'm curious.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, I'm not a crazy artist or anything like that. I just do what I want. You know, everything I do is what I want. And, you know, very little money I make from everything that I do, but I don't care. I really don't.
It's not about that anyways, man.
Yeah.
The dollar has no value anymore anyways, apparently. So
it doesn't.
Yeah.
All right. Well, dude, this was awesome, man. This was not only our darkest one, but I think it was our longest one.
Was it?
It's like an hour and 45 minutes we're going on here.
Wow.
And I mean,
right there.
I'll chop it down a little bit, not much. It was all good stuff, you know?
Cool. Sounds good. Yeah, it was nice to talk to you. I miss talking to you. So it's fun.
Same here, man. Same here. And you know, we'll do it again one day. For now, fucking, you know, stay on Earth. Stay on Earth with all of us. It's fun. I don't even know what that means. I think you get it.
Yeah, I get it.
All right, Christopher. Peace, man.
Peace, dude.
Talk to you later.